There comes a moment in life when pain unexpectedly knocks on our door, an unavoidable moment when everything you once believed about yourself begins to crumble. It feels as if the ground beneath your feet has vanished, and suddenly you find yourself falling into an abyss of uncertainty, emptiness, and confusion. But here's a truth that few are taught. Pain is not your enemy, nor is it a mere coincidence. It is a messenger. Hidden within suffering lies a profound truth, one that has the power to transform your existence forever. Have you ever noticed that the most painful experiences in your life are the ones that have shaped you the most? Take a moment to reflect. Perhaps it was a relationship that ended, a job you lost, or a period of deep solitude that forced you to confront yourself. These experiences, which we often wish to avoid, serve a higher purpose. The Swiss psychologist Carl Jung called this process individuation, a journey inward, where we meet our shadows, confront our fears, and ultimately discover our purest and most authentic self. Most people, when faced with pain, do everything they can to escape it. They seek refuge in distractions, burying themselves in work, scrolling endlessly through social media, drowning in parties, or engaging in anything that numbs their inner discomfort. But Jung revealed something essential. Running from pain only amplifies it. When you ignore the message that suffering is trying to communicate, it returns again and again in different forms, like an endless cycle, until you choose to listen. Imagine that your pain is a voice emerging from the depths of your unconscious. That voice whispers, "Stop, look within. There is something you need to see, something you have ignored for too long." This is not an easy message to hear because it forces us to confront the parts of ourselves that we would rather keep hidden. Jung referred to this hidden part as the shadow, and it is here that the true transformative power of pain resides. The shadow consists of everything we have repressed: our fears, desires, insecurities, and unresolved emotions. It is the part of us that we deny because it does not fit the image we wish to project to the world. However, the more we ignore the shadow, the more power it holds over us. It manifests in our lives as conflicts in relationships, self-sabotaging decisions, or recurring patterns that seem to trap us in the same painful experiences. Have you ever met someone who inexplicably brings out the worst in you? Perhaps that person makes you feel insecure, irritates you, or awakens emotions you don't fully understand. Jung would say that this person is not in your life by accident. They are a mirror, reflecting an aspect of your shadow that you need to acknowledge and integrate. It is as if the universe conspires to show you what you have yet to accept within yourself. Here lies a profound truth that can change your life. The pain you experience is not a punishment. It is a call for transformation. It is your unconscious mind guiding you toward deeper self-awareness. When you stop running, when you choose to face your pain and look within, something extraordinary happens. You begin to free yourself. Facing your shadow is not easy. It requires courage because it means admitting that you are not perfect, that you carry wounds, and that there are aspects of yourself that need healing. But it is in this act of bravery that you discover your true strength. Jung once said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." In other words, only when you dare to face your shadow can you truly transform it into light. This process not only liberates you from the weight of pain, but also reconnects you with your authentic self. Because behind every wound, behind every fear, lies a hidden gift, one that offers you a deeper understanding of yourself, a renewed perspective on life, and an inner strength you may not have realized you possessed. For instance, many times, pain arises because we are disconnected from our true essence. We become lost in the expectations imposed by society, a stable job, the perfect relationship, a life that conforms to what others deem acceptable. But the further we drift from our authenticity, the more we feel that inner void. Carl Jung teaches us that the path to wholeness begins the moment we stop seeking external validation and start listening to our inner voice. That quiet, often ignored voice is the compass guiding us toward our true purpose. Yet, in order to hear it, we need silence. We need to pause, to detach from the noise of the outside world, and to ask ourselves the questions we may have long avoided. What parts of myself am I repressing? What do I truly desire in life? What is this pain trying to teach me? Every time you dare to ask these questions, and more importantly, choose to confront the answers, you take a step toward liberation. You begin breaking the invisible chains that bind you to suffering. You open the door to a more authentic, fulfilling, and meaningful existence. Because here is the truth. You cannot heal what you are not willing to face. The moment you start confronting your shadow, when you integrate all those aspects of yourself that you had suppressed or ignored, something astonishing happens. The pain does not magically disappear, but it loses its grip on you. Instead of feeling like a victim of your circumstances, you begin to see every challenge, every loss, and every moment of suffering as an opportunity for transformation. Jung described this as an alchemical process, the art of turning the lead of your suffering into the gold of self-discovery. Think about the most difficult experiences in your life, the ones that shattered you, that forced you to question everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world. Now, reflect. What did those experiences teach you? Perhaps at the time, the pain felt unbearable. But looking back, can you see how those moments made you stronger, wiser, more aware? Jung famously said, "He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens." This simple yet profound phrase contains one of the most powerful lessons we can learn. Real change does not happen outside of you. It happens within. Most people spend their lives blaming external factors for their suffering. The job, the relationship, the economy, society. But Jung reveals a fundamental truth. The world outside is merely a reflection of our inner world. If there is chaos in your relationships, if you feel an emptiness inside, if you find yourself trapped in the same toxic patterns over and over again, it is because something within you needs to be seen, acknowledged, and healed. For instance, if you repeatedly encounter people who hurt you or disappoint you, it is easy to blame them. But what if you stopped to reflect? What if those people were simply mirrors, revealing parts of yourself that you have refused to see? Your deep need for approval, your fears, your inability to set boundaries. Jung called this projection. We project onto others the things we cannot accept in ourselves. Imagine this. You meet someone who irritates you deeply. You cannot stand their arrogance, their selfishness, or their way of behaving. But if you look closer, you may realize that what bothers you most about them is actually something you have suppressed within yourself. Perhaps deep down, you envy their assertiveness, their strength, or their freedom, but you do not allow yourself to express those qualities. Projection is uncomfortable because it forces us to face our own shadow. Yet, it is also one of the most powerful tools for self-growth. Every person who enters your life does so for a reason. Some come to teach you love. Others come to teach you boundaries. And some come to reveal the hidden parts of yourself that are crying out for healing. Jung believed that nothing happens by chance. The universe, through your relationships and experiences, is constantly showing you the path to transformation. So, when pain knocks at your door, instead of running from it, sit with it, listen to it. Ask yourself, what is this experience trying to show me? What patterns am I repeating? What do I need to let go of in order to grow? These are not easy questions to answer. They require a level of honesty with yourself that can be deeply uncomfortable. But it is in that discomfort where true transformation takes place. Because when you decide to face your shadows, when you choose to see the truth hidden behind your suffering, something incredible happens. You free yourself. You begin to live from a place of authenticity. You stop acting to please others and start acting in alignment with your truth. You let go of the need for external validation and finally find peace within yourself. This is the path that Carl Jung described as individuation, the lifelong process of becoming the person you truly are, beyond the masks, beyond the roles imposed by society, beyond the expectations that have been placed upon you since childhood. It is the journey of self-discovery, the unveiling of your most authentic self. But make no mistake, this path is not easy. There will be moments when you feel lost, when doubt creeps in, whispering that you are not enough. Fear will try to hold you back, convincing you to stay in the comfort of the familiar, even if the familiar suffocates you. You will be tempted to abandon the journey, to retreat into old patterns, to surrender to the illusion that it is safer to conform than to evolve. However, Jung reminds us of a profound truth. Darkness is not the end. It is the beginning. It is the fertile ground where your roots can grow deeper, where the raw and unfiltered parts of yourself can finally be acknowledged and understood. Only when you embrace your shadow, those parts of you that you have rejected, feared, or denied, does something inside you begin to shift permanently. No longer do you feel like a victim of your emotions. No longer are you controlled by external circumstances. Instead, you begin to see pain not as an enemy, but as a teacher. Every wound, every struggle, every heartbreak becomes a guide, leading you to a greater understanding of who you are. This is the essence of Jung's teachings. You cannot reach the light without first passing through the darkness. Jung often spoke of the inner hero, the part of you that has the courage to venture into the unknown, to face your deepest fears, and to emerge transformed. This is the same hero's journey we see in all great stories. The protagonist is thrown into chaos, confronted with trials and suffering, tested beyond their limits. But by the end, they have changed. They have become stronger, wiser, more whole. And that hero is you. Your struggles, your pain, your shadows, they are not punishments. They are the trials you must endure to uncover your true power. But here's something crucial you must understand. Healing is not instant. Integrating your shadow, facing your wounds, and transforming your inner world is not something that happens overnight. It is a process that requires patience, self-compassion, and above all, time. This is not about fixing yourself. You are not broken. It is not about erasing your pain or pretending it never existed. It is about learning to live with it, to make peace with it, to recognize that even the most painful experiences have shaped you into the person you are today. Jung believed that the goal of life was not to attain some unrealistic version of perfection, but to find wholeness. And wholeness means embracing every part of yourself, the good and the bad, the light and the shadow. Think about it. How many times have you felt like you weren't enough simply because you didn't fit into the narrow definition of success and happiness that society imposes? Perhaps you've been taught that you must always be strong, always be positive, always be achieving. But Jung teaches us that true strength does not come from suppressing your flaws. It comes from accepting them. The moment you stop fighting yourself, the moment you stop repressing your emotions, you free yourself. You allow yourself to be real, to be human, to be whole. And this transformation doesn't just affect you. It changes the way you connect with others. When you accept your own shadow, you stop projecting it onto those around you. You no longer judge people solely by their flaws, because you recognize that they too are fighting their own battles. Their fears, their wounds, their struggles are no different from yours. This realization fosters deeper, more authentic relationships built on understanding rather than illusion. But to reach this level of self-awareness, you need courage. The courage to ask yourself difficult questions. What fears am I avoiding? What parts of myself have I been suppressing? Why do I keep repeating the same patterns in my relationships and my life? These questions are uncomfortable. They challenge everything you think you know about yourself. They force you to confront the lies you've been telling yourself, to shed the masks you've worn to fit in, and to dare to show the world who you truly are. And here lies the paradox. Though this process may seem terrifying at first, in the end, you will realize there is nothing more liberating than being yourself. Carl Jung tells us that authenticity is the greatest act of courage. When you allow yourself to be truly authentic, you begin to attract people and experiences that genuinely resonate with you. You no longer feel the need to chase relationships or pursue things that fail to fulfill you. Instead, everything you truly need starts arriving naturally, as if life itself is aligning in response to your inner truth. Jung also speaks about synchronicity, that mysterious phenomenon where events seem to align in an almost magical way. Perhaps you've experienced this before. Right after making an important decision, you start noticing signs, coincidences, or even the sudden appearance of people who seem to arrive at just the right moment. This is not mere chance. It is the universe responding to your authenticity, confirming that you are walking the right path. However, reaching this level of alignment requires something fundamental: letting go of control. You must learn to trust the process, even when it is painful. Even when the road ahead seems uncertain, everything is unfolding for your highest good. The pain you feel today is not the end of your story. It is merely the beginning of your transformation. Jung leaves us with a powerful lesson. Pain does not come to destroy you, but to awaken you. It is a call from your soul, urging you to look within, to acknowledge your shadows, and to discover the light that has always been there. Because behind every wound, there is a hidden gift. Behind every fear, there is an opportunity for growth. And behind every shadow, there is a part of you longing to be seen, loved, and accepted. When you embark on this journey of self-discovery, you realize that pain and darkness were never the real problems. The real issue was your resistance to facing them. Jung famously said, "What you resist persists. What you accept transforms you." In other words, the more you suppress your fears, wounds, or desires, the more power they have over your life. But the moment you choose to confront them, to face them with awareness and acceptance, you reclaim your power. Have you ever felt trapped in an endless cycle where the same problems and patterns keep repeating over and over again? Maybe it's a relationship that always ends the same way, or a job where you never feel truly valued. Jung would say that this is not a coincidence. It is your unconscious mind trying to get your attention. Every recurring pattern is a sign that there is something within you that remains unrecognized or unhealed. For example, imagine that you continuously attract people who make you feel inadequate or unworthy. It's easy to blame others, but Jung invites us to look deeper. What part of yourself believes that you are not enough? What past wounds or limiting beliefs are you projecting onto your relationships? When you begin to ask yourself these questions, you start to understand a profound truth. Change does not happen outside of you. It happens within. Because once you heal those inner wounds, everything around you starts to shift. This is the true power of self-awareness. The relationships that once caused you pain stop affecting you because you no longer project your unresolved shadows onto them. The situations that once triggered fear or anxiety lose their grip on you because you have discovered strength within yourself. But this process does not happen overnight. It is a journey, and like any journey, there will be moments when you feel lost, confused, or even tempted to give up. However, Jung reminds us that it is in the deepest darkness that we find the greatest light. It is in the moments of greatest chaos that we discover our true strength. Think about it. How many times have you overcome something you once thought was impossible? Perhaps at the time, it felt like you couldn't go on, that the pain was too overwhelming. And yet, here you are. You survived. And not only did you survive, but you learned, you grew, and you became stronger. That is proof that within you lies an incredible power, a power that often goes unrecognized until life forces you to uncover it. Carl Jung called it the self, the center of your being, the core of who you are in your purest and most complete form. The self is not just your personality, not the image you project to the world, nor the roles you play to fit in. It is something deeper, something untouched by fear, doubt, or societal expectations. It is the essence of your true nature, beyond the layers of conditioning and beyond the masks you wear to navigate life. At its core, the self is your connection to something far greater than your individual existence. It is your link to the universe, to the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all of life. But to find this center, to reconnect with who you truly are, you must undertake a task that few are willing to face. You must learn to let go. Letting go is not merely an act of abandonment or surrender. It is an act of profound self-love. It requires releasing the beliefs that limit you, the relationships that drain your energy, and the versions of yourself that no longer serve your highest good. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a courageous step toward transformation. When you let go of what no longer belongs in your life, you create space for something new, something better, to emerge. Think of it as tending to a garden. If you never remove the dead branches, there will be no room for new flowers to bloom. In the same way, when you choose to release what no longer resonates with you, you send a powerful message to the universe. I am ready for something greater. And the universe always responds. Suddenly, new people, new opportunities, and new experiences begin to enter your life as if by magic. Doors that once seemed permanently shut begin to open, effortlessly. However, this journey is not without its challenges. There will be moments of doubt, times when fear whispers in your ear, trying to pull you back into your comfort zone. But remember this, fear is not your enemy. It is merely a sign that you are growing, evolving, stepping into the unknown. And it is in the unknown where true miracles take place. Carl Jung taught us that the greatest act of courage is to be true to yourself. This means shedding the expectations imposed upon you, releasing the old narratives that have confined you, and embracing the path of authenticity. When you do this, you begin to live a life that is truly your own, a life where you feel at peace, aligned with your purpose, and deeply connected to your truth. Pain, though often feared, carries with it a hidden gift. It offers you the chance to transform, to free yourself from illusions, and to discover the depths of who you really are. In the end, life is not about avoiding suffering. It is about finding meaning within it. When you shift your perspective in this way, pain ceases to be your enemy and instead becomes your greatest ally. The moment you stop running from your shadows, the instant you choose to walk through your pain rather than around it, the world begins to look different. The things that once controlled you lose their power. The relationships that once wounded you no longer hold the same weight. And most importantly, you come to realize that every experience, even the most difficult, had a purpose. Because in the grand design of life, nothing is ever wasted. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every moment of struggle is simply a doorway leading you back home to yourself. Carl Jung teaches us that life is a continuous process of transformation. It is not about finding absolute answers or achieving a perfect version of yourself, but rather about embracing the journey of growth, learning, and evolution every single day. Every challenge you face and every person you meet is an opportunity to discover new aspects of yourself, to integrate your shadow, and to unleash your inner light. But what happens when you truly commit to this inner work? You become an authentic, strong, and conscious individual. You stop living on autopilot and start making decisions based on your true essence. The right people begin to enter your life. Opportunities start aligning effortlessly, and most importantly, you finally find the peace you have been searching for. Because true fulfillment is not found outside of you. It has always been within. This message is not just for you. It is for everyone who is walking the path of self-discovery. We live in a world that has taught us to run away from pain, to suppress our emotions, and to disconnect from our true selves. But now is the time to wake up. Now is the time to turn inward, to embrace our shadows, and to transform our suffering into strength. Because when you transform yourself, you transform the world around you. I invite you to pause for a moment and reflect. Ask yourself, what part of my life am I ready to change? What relationships, fears, or beliefs do I need to let go of to set myself free? What lessons can I learn from the pain I am experiencing right now? Take a moment to write down your answers. Reflect on them deeply. Change does not happen overnight, but it begins with a single decision. The decision to listen to yourself, to face yourself, and to liberate yourself. Carl Jung once said that those who do not look within will never awaken. So today, I invite you to wake up, to take that first step toward your transformation, to become the person you were always meant to be. You are part of something much greater than yourself. This message is not just for you, it is for anyone who needs to hear it. If these words resonated with you, if you feel that someone else could benefit from this message, share it. Maybe there is someone out there going through a difficult time, someone who needs this exact sign, this small push to start their own journey of transformation. Leave a comment below and tell me, what part of this message touched your heart? What change are you willing to make in your life today? Your words will not only help you, but will also inspire others who are reading. Together, we can create a community where knowledge, authenticity, and transformation become our greatest strength. And before you leave, make sure to subscribe to this channel. If you've come this far, it's because something inside you is ready to awaken. Don't let this be just another video. Let it be the beginning of something greater in your life. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Each video we share is designed to help you grow, evolve, and awaken to your highest potential. Every time you share, comment, or interact with this content, you are helping this message reach more people. People who need to wake up and begin their path of self-discovery. You can be that light that inspires others to change their lives. Remember, life is not about avoiding darkness, but about learning to walk through it and discovering your own light in the process. Pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Listen to it, face it, and let it guide you toward your transformation. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for being part of this journey. Subscribe now, and let's continue growing together. I will see you in the next video. And always remember, change begins with you. I'll be waiting for you.